In the 10 plus years of NASCAR playoffs, only 2 teams have gotten all 4 of their cars into the round of 8. Hendrick Motorsports has a great chance to join that exclusive list this weekend. And speaking of this weekend, has the Charlotte Roval overstayed its welcome? Drivers aren't exactly thrilled with the new configuration. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Happy Friday, folks. Real quick, if you missed it this morning, we announced Groovy Hollow 4, the annual charity iRacing event that I and AE Engine put on. This year, it's scheduled for October 29th. Will be broadcast right here on my channel. Head to Groovy Hollow Raceway for all the event information, including diecasts. I will be driving the Halloween machine in this race. These are in stock, ready to ship. And a few of y'all I saw notice some of the fine details. Yeah, originally the plan was to get this scheme on a real NASCAR car this season, but plans with JD Motorsports obviously changed suddenly. So now this is, I guess, a cursed or forgotten NASCAR scheme, but it's still gonna race virtually in Groovy Hollow 4. Again, that's October 29th. All the information can be found at groovyhollowraceway.com. Hope you check it out. Hope you donate as well to Extra Life, Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. They've been a great partner the past 4 years. We've raised over $20,000. Help us reach our goal this year. We really, truly appreciate it. I was wrong in yesterday's video when I said that the Cup race this weekend doesn't feature many super interesting storylines. I missed a big one. Hendrick Motorsports is chasing history. All 4 of their drivers are currently above the playoff cut line. William Byron is locked in to the round of 8. Hendrick Motorsports has a great opportunity to be just the 3rd team to get all 4 of their cars into the round of 8 in a single playoffs. Joe Gibbs Racing did it in 2016 for the first time with Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, and in 2018, Stuart Haas did it with Kevin Harvick, Clint Bowyer, Eric Almirola, and Kurt Busch. Somehow, someway, Hendrick Motorsports hasn't accomplished this, at least not yet. Again, a fantastic opportunity this weekend. Alex Bowman has the best average finish of anyone at the Charlotte Roval. Chase Elliott has a good average finish of 8.2, also has 2 wins. Kyle Larson has won here, also won at Sonoma earlier this summer. So this is absolutely an interesting storyline worth following, especially if you're a Hendrick Motorsports fan. It was extremely impressive when Gibbs got all 4 cars in the round of 8. Back then, folks were calling that the Dream Team. 4 future Hall of Famers. When Stuart Haas did it in 2018, I think everyone was impressed. I'm shocked Hendrick hasn't done it yet, but if Hendrick gets it done this weekend, I would argue this is the most impressive accomplishment. Only because, what's the narrative the last 3 years? Parity. Anyone can win. 19 different winners in 2022, 18 different winners so far in 2024. Sure, the best teams still bubble to the front more often than not, but the gap between the haves and the have less ofs is much smaller than it's been throughout most of NASCAR history. So for Hendrick Motorsports to still be on top after all of these years, all of these car changes, now a spec car, that's extremely impressive. And like Joe Gibbs Racing in 2016, yeah, they developed Denny Hamlin. I would argue they developed Kyle Busch, but Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards, they were arguably Hall of Famers before they got to Joe Gibbs Racing. All 4 of Hendrick Motorsports' current drivers came up through the Hendrick system, more or less. Larson, maybe less so. I guess he was with Ganassi for a few years, but he never realized his full potential until he got teamed up with Cliff Daniels and the number 5 team. Alex Bowman was a start in Parker before Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Hendrick Motorsports took a chance on him. William Byron was paired up with Chad Knaus his rookie season. If Hendrick Motorsports gets it done this weekend, this is an extremely impressive accomplishment considering the era and considering how much work it took to develop these 4 drivers into the stars they are today. So that is absolutely a storyline I am following this weekend. Can Hendrick Motorsports get all 4 of their drivers into the round of 8 for the first time in franchise history? A difficult challenge awaits them, however. Let's zero in on the Charlotte Roval. Matt Weaver, writing for Sportsnaut, published a great article earlier today. I'll link it down in the description below. Speedway Motorsports reconfigured turns 6 and 7 ahead of this weekend's race, now creating a hairpin turn right before the cars head back onto the NASCAR oval. That is a radical change, one that many NASCAR drivers aren't the biggest fans of. I want to share just a couple of quotes from this Sportsnaut article. article, Denny Hamlin offered his opinion. He said of the track, quote, "I think it's set up for chaos, truthfully. I think that they were very strategic, making sure to put us to a decision of what might be fast. The normal racing line will be fast, but there will be an option to shortcut it and just wipe out whoever is in front of you." Hamlin wasn't the only critic. Riley Herbst, who is in the Xfinity Series playoff picture, said this, quote, "They've taken a really bad racetrack and made it worse. That's not good English, but that's how I feel about it. I'd feel better if it were the old layout, but the new Turn 7 is dismal." Dismal. A lot of great quotes in this Sportsnaut article. Just scratch the surface. Go check out the full piece down below. Turn 6 and 7 weren't the only changes. They've also tightened the front stretch chicane. Chase Briscoe said in this article that it's going to be really, really bad on restart, so something to watch for. These criticisms and others, I believe, have fans, drivers, media, the entire industry asking a very honest question. Has the Charlotte Roval overstayed its welcome? The Charlotte Roval was introduced in 2018 during a time when intermediate racing was in a dark, dark place. Back then, we also had 3 races a year on the Charlotte Oval: the All-Star race, the 600, and the Fall race. It was too much. You're not touching the Coke 600, so instead, NASCAR would tinker with the aero package during the All-Star race, tinker with the tires, and then Marcus Smith and SMI decided to reconfigure the Fall race into a road course. Now, there's no need for revisionist history. At the time, the Charlotte Roval was a genius idea. The first race in 2018 produced not only an all-time classic meme, but also an all-time classic, dramatic, thrilling finish. Then the next year, in 2019, Chase Elliott hit the wall on a restart, but charged through the field in the closing laps, one of the most impressive displays of driving I've ever seen to win anyways. So this was a brilliant idea. Take heavy stock cars, put them in a parking lot basically, and let them go at it. I've often said the best NASCAR Cup Series racing occurs when the drivers and cars are uncomfortable. The Charlotte Roval was and still is in many ways very uncomfortable. It was a good idea at the time, but has the mood shifted in recent years? Nowadays, the NASCAR Cup Series schedule has 5 to 7 road course races a year. The next gen car drives too good at road courses, so we don't see as many mistakes. We see less passing. Meanwhile, the intermediate tracks have seen a resurgence, a renaissance, if you will. Kansas suddenly is maybe the best track in the series. Darlington is great. Texas was actually watchable this year. The Coke 600 has been extremely enjoyable the past couple of seasons, minus the rain out this year. It's the car. That's why NASCAR and SMI once again have reconfigured the Roval. That hairpin turn 7 is a passing zone in their eyes, while the drivers, I think, see it for what it truly is: calamity corner. You can get away with way more bumper-to-bumper contact in this car than the old car. Sometimes using the bumper is the only way to make a pass. Ultimately, I agree with what Denny Hamlin said. This was a very strategic move by SMI. They've lobbed the ball over the plate, and they're hoping the drivers take huge swings. They want to see contact, crashes. They believe that's what the fans want to see. And I think fans will have to decide. They'll decide by voting with their eyeballs and with their money, their butts in seats. Hard racing leading to crashes is one thing, like Marcus Ambrose versus Brad Keselowski 12 years ago. Awesome. SVG versus Chris Buescher a couple weeks ago. Also awesome. But Joey Logano sending it 5 wide at the Indy Road Course, that's not awesome, and I'm afraid that's what we're going to see with some of these Roval reconfigurations. If Sunday's race devolves into madness, I hope NASCAR takes a hard look at the 2020, I guess they can't look at the 2025 maybe, but at least the 2026 schedule. Maybe put this race back on the oval in the fall. I mean, I want to see a road course in the playoffs. If you're going to have 5+ road courses on the schedule, you need to balance the regular season and the playoffs. Watkins Glen was a playoff race this year. Maybe that should be the trend moving forward. Perhaps Watkins Glen fans would disagree with me, but I actually thought it worked pretty well as a opening round playoff race this season. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe it's not that simple. Fans, let me know. Are you a fan of the Charlotte Roval still? Do you feel it's overstayed its welcome? Would you welcome a return to the Oval, move Watkins Glen, or another road course into the playoffs? Let me know what you'd like to see in the coming years down in the comment section below. Real quick before I go, I have one more announcement. As many of you know, I work with the folks at the Daily Downforce, and they're looking to bring some new talent on board. AE Engine is the company I work with. They're responsible for the Daily Downforce NASCAR Pole Position magazine. They're helping me put on Groovy Hollow 4. They also work with a variety of drivers and teams at track activations. They have quite the portfolio. They've also helped connect me and this channel with some cool partners over the years. AE Engine is looking for a director of business development to join the team. If you have experience in sales and marketing, if you live and breathe NASCAR, this is your chance to jump in and work with us. Head to aeengine.com/careers, another link I'll put in the description below. Did I mention this is a remote position, so you can work from pretty much anywhere inside the US. If you're interested, click the link down below to apply. Thanks for listening, folks. Thank you for watching this episode. It's been a busy week. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more NASCAR content every single day, all year long. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. I know I've thrown a lot at y'all in this video. Be sure to check the description for Groovy Hollow information, AE Engine careers, more driver quotes about the Charlotte Roval reconfig. So much happening this week. Have a great rest of your Friday, folks. I'll talk to you later this weekend.